Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. All of my Savannah fire babies have shed out, and I promised you an update on that clutch. Some of them look fantastic actually. Now they have actually all shed out. Let's get a look at the babies. It is just a short video and nothing has changed in terms of my IDs, and the sexing, the initial sexing was also correct. We have eight males and only 4 females out of that bunch, but that's enough for my needs to further the project. Let's take a look. And here they are. Even though they've shed out, they're all in a big pile in this part of the tub. We've got 11 snakes here. I'm actually still waiting on this little Mojave to shed. He's a little bit behind the others. This is the one that we had to tie off the umbilicus, so that will be quite normal. He did go into blue and his eyes are clear now, so I'm expecting he will shed in the next couple of days. He's just a day or 2 behind his siblings. So I did want to share these with you because there is quite a lot of variety in this clutch, even though there are only 3 genes at play, and you can see that they have coloured up quite nicely after shedding. So let's just go through these and dig out. This guy here we recognise quite easily. This is the single gene Mojave with the dripping alien heads down the side and the bright yellow dorsal. Very dark head on this guy, and this is identical to the other one that still has to shed. So this is straight Mojave, and we had one dark one in here which was the straight cinnamon, and I can see that one here. Okay, so this is the straight cinnamon. The head isn't quite as dark as the Mojave. The Mojave has a slightly darker head, but you can see the difference in the colour. This one is much more chocolatey coloured and this one is much more yellow. So this one is the straight cinnamon. It's got lovely reddish brown sides there, really nice colour. Straight cinnamon here, and when we add fire to the cinnamon, let's have a look and see what we get. There are 2 of those. There's one, and there's the other. So a slightly lighter coloured head on these fires, and a much brighter snake, much brighter dorsal stripe, much more enhanced dorsal, but the pattern is actually fairly similar. You can see the fire influence there. Fire gives it a slightly vertical orientation to the pattern as compared to the straight cinnamon, which has much rounder alien heads. These alien heads tend to drip down the sides. So there we go, we've got 2 cinnamon fires and 1 straight cinnamon. Okay, so the dark coloured snakes here are the Savannahs or cinnamon Mojaves. Let's just dig those out and compare those. We've got 4 of these. You can see the 4 snakes here compared to the brighter ones at the top. These brighter ones are the ones with fire, and these are the Savannahs. You can see they've coloured up really nicely. Nice dorsal stripe, and you can see the typical alien heads that are extended out on the side. So this is cinnamon Mojave or Savannah, and they are all slightly different. This one has a much more striking pattern, but you can again see on the neck, if I get this guy to straighten out, you can see on the neck here we've got the same extended alien heads, but the pattern is much more distinctive on this one. This is really nice. Here's another example. You can see the extended alien heads down the side. So that's another Savannah and another Savannah. This one is the palest of the bunch, and this one has some really nice extended alien heads down the flanks. So a little bit of variability there in the Savannahs, but you can see the head colour compared to the guys that have fire in them. You can see the difference in the coloration of the head there, much lighter in the fire example. Again, if we look at these side to side, let me pick out the one with the really nice pattern. This guy here was the really striking pattern, and this one is very, very similar, very striking pattern. You can see the influence of fire with the drips on the alien heads coming down the side, and overall a much lighter colour. Also a better developed dorsal stripe, but otherwise identical other than just the brightness of the fire. So this is Savannah, and this is Savannah with fire. There are 3 of these guys. Cinnamon, Mojave, fire. These are all ready for setting up now in their individual tubs. So I'm going to go ahead now and do that, set them up in individual tubs, and then we can think about feeding them in a week or so's time. So there we go, guys. Let me just put them all back together for you. So that's the Cinnamon Mojave fire, and these are all het clowns. There's some amazing looking babies in here. There is the Savannah with the striking pattern that looks very, very similar to this guy here. So these two are quite similar, but there is quite a little bit of variation, even though the gene stack is obvious in these. It's a fairly simple combination, but there's quite a lot of variability, which is really nice. We did do very well on the cinnamons. There are 10 out of 12 of these babies contain cinnamon, and it was cinnamon that we wanted in our clown project. So these are all het for clown. We've got 4 Savannahs and 3 Savannahs with fire, which is the triple gene combination. They'll be the ones that get held back. But we didn't do very well on the sex ratios. We got 4 females and 8 males. And as I put them into their individual tubs, I will resex them. So hopefully in that triple gene combination we'll get a male and a female, and then I'll pick some of the nicer females to keep back, and the rest of these will be looking for new homes. Okay, let's get them set up and labelled. Okay, these snakes all shed out on feeding day, and I had some spare feeder hoppers. And I wouldn't normally feed a clutch of babies so soon after they've shed. Normally I would leave it a week or 2 weeks even before I fed the babies, and certainly anything up to 3 weeks is not a problem. But because I had some spare hopper ASFs, I decided that I would offer them to these babies, and believe it or not, the same day that they shed, 8 out of 12 of the babies actually ate. So I only have 4 of these babies now that haven't actually taken their first meal, and they're just a week out of shed. So that's pretty awesome. I think we'll see that these guys grow really quickly. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.